Virtual is not the opposite of real. Virtual is the opposite of physical. They're both real life. Hey, it's been a long time. Let's talk about digital ministry. Now, here's my big idea. I've probably said this before. I'm going to say it a whole lot in a lot of ways coming up. There's no such thing as digital ministry. What? That's my job, isn't it? I'm Minister of Digital Worship and Education at the Riverside Church. I'm the Director of Online Innovation at Convergence, blah, 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 blah. Digital ministry. Well, hold on. There's no such thing as digital ministry, the same way there's no such thing as youth ministry or social justice ministry because we need specialization. It can be helpful, especially when churches have the capacity, the budget to really hire people with specific roles. But the misleading nature of having a digital minister is you feel like that person does all the digital ministry and everyone else gets to do other kinds of ministry, right? Well, here's the thing. Are you a pastor? When did you start using email as part of your job? That's, I would say, when digital ministry began for you. It evolves in lots of different ways, but the point being, digital ministry is just doing ministry in a world where people engage digitally. It's just doing ministry. It's just the thing we've been supposed to do all along, being present where we are, when we are, how we are with the people we're called to serve, and then doing the thing called being a pastor, ministry, ministering to people. It's easy to kind of focus on the stuff, on like the technology, the cameras, the lights and the mics and the gizmos, and we forget that there's a person on the other side, not the person running the camera. I don't have anyone. It's just a tripod set up in my office. The person watching, the people engaging, interacting. When you're doing a live stream, it's not about lights and cameras and mics and production. It's about people connecting with people. A Zoom call is not just, a fancy way to work from home. It's a way for people to connect with people when they don't have any other way to gather. There's no such thing as digital ministry. There's just ministry. And we're all called to digital ministry. If you're called to ministry in the 21st century, in a world where these things are rarely more than 3 feet from our body, you are called to digital ministry. The question then is, in what way are you called to digital ministry? What are you called to do? How can you think more intentionally, more critically, more theologically, more pastorally about the ways you are engaging these aspects of our life, these digital, these virtual yet real aspects of our life? Virtual is not the opposite of real, like real life versus virtual life. Virtual is the opposite of physical. They're both real life. These online engagements, online encounters are real encounters. The emotions we share are real emotions. The ways we choose to show up are real choices, which, by the way, the Facebookification of reality, where you only present a certain version of yourself in certain online spaces, we do that all the time. Ever heard of wearing your Sunday best? Come on, we're all born naked. The rest of life is drag. That's theologian RuPaul or Michel Foucault or some combination of the two. The point being, these ways we show up in online spaces are real presence. It's a real participation. It's incarnation. And so the role of digital ministry, there's no such thing as digital ministry, is just to do ministry with people in the ways they are. That's what ministry has always been about. Whoever you're called to do it with. Think about it. People of all ages are in these online spaces. Facebook's not for kids, it's really mostly older adults who are using Facebook now. And who are you engaging with? How do you want to show up in the spaces they're in? One of my favorite stories, a friend of mine, Bethany Peerbolt, you might know her on TikTok as Rev Bethany. Back in the beginning of the pandemic, she had heard from some of her students, she was a youth pastor at the time, repeating some theological phrases that just didn't align with the kind of theological lens that they used in their congregation. They're a more progressive congregation, and they were using some more theologically conservative language. She's like, where'd you hear that? They were on a Zoom call. And the kids said, saw some pastors on TikTok. Wait a minute. So Bethany started getting on TikTok to create more progressive faith-based content to help her students. She was showing up in the spaces her students were. She was just doing ministry. That's it. It's the same thing as, we've always been doing. It's just doing it in the when we are now, not the when we used to be then. There's no going back to the past. Marty McFly, Dr. Brown, their time machine doesn't exist yet, I don't think. We can only be where we are and be ready to go where we go next. I mean, looking back is important. Look at this. I got a rearview mirror right here to remind us. To know where you're going, you got to know where you've been, but you don't spend the whole time staring at the rearview mirror. You got to look through the windshield in order to keep moving forward. Okay. There's no such thing as digital ministry. It's just ministry. There's no such thing as youth ministry because the youth pastor doesn't do all the youth ministry on behalf of the church so that other people don't have to. The social justice minister doesn't do all the social justice so you can just sit at home sipping on whatever while they go to the protest. No, those specialized roles are there to model, explore, coach, cajole, consult, bring us all along for this journey. Same is true of digital ministry. It's a journey we are all called to. Whether you are a congregant or a pastor or whatever your role or title or function might be, we live in a digital world. Where's my digivices? My kids took it. World. Yeah, that show. All right, more to come. Plus a whole lot of webinars I'm leading coming up. Here's all the info on screen. You should totally sign up for those. Information in the description where you can see all the upcoming webinars. Register. You get recordings if you don't show up to the live webinar, so you have no excuse but to hit the button. All right, now go do ministry and maybe even do it digitally. See you later.